I have with me Ankit is having 55 plus certifications in almost all the technology. So if you are watching as an experienced solution architect, if you want to learn about what certifications to crack to improve your profile, then look out to Ankit's LinkedIn profile. You will get an idea. I'll share his profile details and his channel details where he talks about, shares a lot of informative content about system design, about various AI ML trends and various other career related details. We just started this session. You see this guy in Amazon t-shirt. He will be sharing about his journey, different certifications, tips for solution architects or for any professional. He will be taking us in a deep dive into AI certification, AWS Generative AI Professional Developer Certification. So let's begin. Maybe you can brief about how you started. You also have a golden jacket. So tell about what is golden jacket, our audience.
What was the opportunity? I started in 2022 and it took me 3 years to get that gold recognition provided from AWS. Once you complete all the active certifications, as of now, they have increased two certification, you will get a golden jacket.
Okay, talk about no various IBM certifications. I saw that not only you have AWS certification, you have multiple certifications from IBM, Microsoft, Linux Foundation, Oracle. Talk about how you got into it.
So regarding IBM and Linux Foundation certifications, so when I was working in Amazon, I gave CPA certification, which was Certified Kubernetes Administrator, which is from Linux Foundation only. And similarly for IBM or Cloud Foundation was foundational level. Since during that time I gave Azure all certification, which are Azure DevOps Engineer and everything. So I gave that Oracle also because that was a foundation level. So yeah, that revolves more on cost optimization, availability.
What was the first certification you took?
So first certification I took was Associate SAC03. It was 25th October 2022.
Okay.
That was my first certification.
So I see you have been in industry for 4 years, 48 months, and you have 55 plus professional certifications, even at the solution architect level. So definitely you would have done a lot of time management. First, tell me, after you clear these certification, what was the impact of these certifications on your career?
So once I created solution architect, I was getting a confidence when I was troubleshooting any issue or when I was for building a project. I was aware this service, suppose if I want to check the logs, then I need to check the cloud logs. If I want to check any audit trails, I was aware like I need to check the KPI cost from cloud. So that knowledge from studying and for exploring from certification gave me a confidence to do so. That was the impact on my professional journey and it helped me to explore multiple areas.
Yeah, from my experience also, I advise engineers who are working on any technology. So for example, if someone is working on Kubernetes, before just diving into these technologies, first we should master these technologies. Then you will be more effective in implementing these technologies into our project. We were talking about different certifications. Tell us what was the sequence of certifications you took? 55 certifications in 48 months. I'm amazed by how you managed your time. These were very much expert level. Some people with 10 plus years of experience may not be able to successfully do that, but you were able to crack all these successfully. So just share what was the sequence of certifications you did briefly. Recommend some path for developers who have very little experience or even no exposure for AWS. Share people who are already working in cloud environment for more than 2 plus years should take. What was learnings and do's and don'ts?
So what I did is I followed a reverse psychology. I tried to hit the toughest certification first, then I aimed for the easiest one. So I gave like associate exams first and then gave the foundation. So my strategy was simple. If I study for the hardest one, would be easily started. I don't need to spend multiple hours on watching the videos of small, like foundational level and then watching the foundational level. Then I did one thing interesting. There was an exam thinking, which people told me and I asked them how it's like definitely not passing.
Uh-huh.
So what I did in Diwali was here. That is 2024 if I'm not wrong. What I did is at 5:30 a.m. I just scheduled a Diwali. I thought, let's make this Diwali memorable. If I fail, then I will get a memory like every year Diwali come. I will remember. If I pass, then it will be a good memory. So luckily, I gave the exam at 5:30 and my schedule. I generally go to gym at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So before coming to gym, I gave that certification and I then started my workout, everything. When I came back home, like luckily I was cleared on that. So that somehow boosted up my confidence and that somehow gave me exposure on how to concentrate on multiple questions, how to make your mind active during morning hour. Other thing what I did is I gave them the professional, which is solution architect professional, which I myself will commit. That is the toughest exam. Need to concentrate on everything. What I focus is I generally focus on the keywords. Suppose, let me take an example. If latency was there, my first word view should be I should focus on the word which is the AWS service, which is used to minimize the latency.
Yeah.
So that helped me to clear rather than reading a full question. I just focus on the keyword. If REST APIs are there, focus on Lambda. If serverless is there, focus on Fargate. That helped me to minimize the options and eliminate the. What I learned is you should focus on each and every question because the questions they came, they confuse also on that one. So that was my learning. And the other thing what I did is multiple revisions because if I was studying for any of the certification, like suppose solution architect associate, that foundation helped me because every certification revolves around the same services. If you are clear which service do which one, then it's easy. So I did not watch more videos of like it's not possible to watch 14 certification videos of 30 hours. It will like sum up to 50 hours like so what I did is I just focused, I eliminated the common topic. So that saved my time and that was my smart working, what you can say, to clear them at a very high pace.
Because I remember the book on productivity. It's called Eat the Frog. You followed that philosophy. Do the toughest things first because the easier things when you try to do, you sometimes procrastinate. It's helpful to do the tough things first and then automatically the other things will happen. Great.
So cloud practitioner I gave at the last when everything was clear, just scheduled and gave the exam.
Yes.
And within 20 minutes I was able to complete.
Okay.
Within 20 minutes, it was sorted.
Tell us about what conferences you are getting invited to. You are speaking all across the globe. So you got or what your upcoming brief us on that? Or what was your papers and all about?
So I used to like give multiple conferences, publish some of the articles also, some of the public documentation. I will share you with them so that you can share to the audience. During that time, I also gave some conference on AWS NCR group because I wanted to share my learning so that there will be no one facing difficulty like searching for a roadmap to how to get into this domain or how to start from a cloud industry. Even myself was a core engineer which was from electronics and communication. Then I started learning. So I wanted to share my experience, my difficulty, so that it should help others.
Now let's talk about generative AI developer certificate. We have some other certificates like AWS Solution Architect and Machine Learning Engineers. Are they related? You have to do them in some sequence. Tell us all these three. You have done all of them, correct?
Yes.
Share about these three, like what is AWS Solution Architect certification, what's Machine Learning Engineering certification, and Generative AI Developer certification.
So for AWS Solution Architect, the main area resolves on the shared architecture and the pillars of the AWS. And it mainly focuses on knowledge of like every AWS service. You should be aware what Fargate does, what Lambda does, what CloudFront does. Coming to machine learning associate, machine learning is the second advanced level of solution architecture because it deep dives into particular ML services of AWS, which make a bedrock. So it deep dives on their API calls, how they function, what are the use cases, and when it can be used. Coming to Gen AI professional, so the sequence should be first go for ML, then ML specialty. I think ML specialty they will be discontinuing. That's why they brought in market is Gen AI professional.
Okay.
If it's discontinued, the sequence would be ML associate, then Gen AI professional. Gen AI professional will evaluate on your knowledge on how you have designed your CPI pipeline, how you have worked on background card. So once you perform on each and every service, try to build a small project, try to see how this works and how the system design of AWS works. The one trick what I would suggest is if it's a machine learning or Gen AI professional, just focus on the words which is in the exam because when I gave the exam, it was a beta version and it was 85 questions. So just focus on ML services like options with the one which is better. Make sure you are aware what each service does and how the end-to-end functioning of these services are being implemented.
Before we deep dive into other topics, I've just asked audience to share their experience, say foundation models, or have they built any generative AI solution? Have they used any APIs for any agentic AI solution or system? These are the topics, like in addition to prompt engineering, which are important for the certification. Anyone who would like to share something, their experience? Ashwin, Karthik, or Praful?
Hey, hi Tarun.
Yeah.
So Varun, I've built actually two products as of now. So I've built a virtual try-on, not with the existing algorithms. So we have almost 90% accuracy,
Okay.
and
You
that is for Indian dresses. So what is virtual try-on is you
okay.
take a dress and your image, you will be shown with that dress.
Okay.
So currently the models they are taking the skin part of you and whatever the picture they change it with some other image and then copy paste the skin things on top of it. But that is
Okay.
not actually you. But we are not doing that process. We are saying you as a body and then we are replacing those things.
Okay. So looks like you're working on fashion and apparel industry.
Correct. My wife is a fashion designer, so I'm trying to help her.
Okay. So you are a founder and entrepreneur in that sense.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
second thing is the RAG pipeline which I wanted to build. So what I see RAG pipeline was very simple.
Ah.
When you're building a RAG pipeline, every enterprise has an issue of 6 months, 7 months delay. Then they realize what is happening. So I came up with a different concept of system of systems. So I
Okay.
have a pipeline which will run through your document
Okay.
on a RAG pipeline and tell you what the output would look like.
Aha.
It's like a simulation. And then the output will tell you whether you need to go in this direction. So
Okay.
at least it will tell you yes or no, go, no go.
Okay.
Currently, I'm working on voice agents.
So voice agent for what purpose?
I have a friend, he has a need, so I'm working on that.
Okay.
So he is getting inundated with his calls, someone to answer.
Okay.
We are building intelligent layers and other things on top of it.
Okay. So this is for the support use case. Customer support?
Not support use case, actually, this is for individual propriety person who does not want to do it, but he has to do it because he has to scale his business. So we call it scale your business without scaling the teams.
Okay, got it. Someone who is providing some professional service, speak to client for queries. So it's like a
Correct.
marketing use case, right? Or it's like consulting and marketing. Awesome.
Correct.
Any insights from Praful or Karthik you'd like to add on your experiences?
So I recently started doing using Gemini. I am doing reviews for a couple of solutions, specifically data products, which is kind of my area of focus right now. What we have done in this space is to generate the documentation, like what is current system doing, which all data products are associated to any other data products, right? Sometimes we pull data from different data assets and data products, right? All the dependencies we draw from a AI-based solution, which I am currently working. It is still on the development phase, not yet productionized. We are trying to do an assessment based on current data products because we are moving platforms from one platform to another, which is more robust and more secure and scalable. These data products were built on the platforms we are planning to retire, and now we are moving those to a new data platform, either Databricks or Snowflake platforms. That is what pretty much we are trying to do. It's a good experience we are gaining with Google Enterprise. It's doing very good. We got a couple of machine learning data scientists who are working with me.
Great.
Yeah.
Just few hours back we were talking about he has some projects on data engineering and Snowflake in particular, which involves reading the data pipeline, some innovation and some operations as well.
Yeah.
So anything Karthik you would like to add?
Yeah, hi. So let me give my introduction first.
Sure.
So I'm joining this session after 2 years. I joined first session in 2023.
Great.
Arun was my mentor back in college. So I'm an alumnus. Now I'm working in Flipkart.
Awesome.
I'm working in Flipkart currently. We don't use AWS. There's own cloud solutions for Flipkart internally. And there are wrappers built on top of ML solutions. And for code generation purpose, we use Cursor tool and ChatGPT. So I'm planning to deep dive AWS now. And I think this session will help me a lot.
So yeah, if you want to learn some topic or you are looking for some certification, share with us what you are looking for. We would be happy to help you out. So I'll also be sharing. Now Ankit is part of the system design group, and you can also connect with him over various social media channels, Instagram, YouTube, as well as LinkedIn.
I might reach out to you guys because another area of focus where we are trying to get some data platforms which are on AWS as well. And also we want to do some innovation around AI on AWS platform
Awesome.
because I work in multi-cloud, so I reach out to you as well.
Great.
And also one more highlight I want to share. Ashwin's use case is very brilliant. Trying out share this dresses, right? I can relate. I was working on one e-commerce solution there. We were trying to do some level of AI. This e-commerce was about selling jewelries online. Your use case can be extended for this type of use cases also. Maybe we can catch up sometime to have a quick chat. Ashwin, yeah.
Yes.
So that would be a great help.
If multiple people would be interested, then we can have a session on this platform in the same format. So keep posting about what all you are doing. If you want to propose sessions, I would welcome you to participate and host some session and give some presentation on what you are doing. So that way you will be able to validate your learnings or your project architecture. You will also get ideas about what next you can do and how you can improve it further. So if you want any other questions, feel free raise your hand and ask the questions. Let's continue. So maybe let's look into a curriculum of generative AI. So if you can just on a very high level, what is the curriculum of generative AI, and on a beginner friendly manner explain various concepts which our engineer should know to crack this certification.
So for generative AI, the main area of focus should be in SageMaker, FM models, chunking. So you should be able to understand how vector DBs work, how RAG works, what pipelines works, how the Bedrock agents work. So once you have expertise on this, it will be very easy for you. Before giving the certification, I would recommend to focus on that series also. You can get multiple test series from your expertise. So these topics can be helpful to attempt the test series, and the learning can be expanded to an exponentially high level.
Okay. Are there any free resources available? How we can get to know about these learning paths or trainings? How did you prepare? You enrolled in some courses, or are most of the material available as free resources?
So I did not enroll in free resources. I only checked AWS Skill Builder. But to practice more of the scenarios, I took the Stephen Minnick course from Udemy, which was approximately $399 during the sale. Sale
Okay.
usually comes on Udemy. So
Okay.
that course helped me to clear that certification and to clear the multiple concepts.
Okay. I know there is something called AWS Skill Builder.
Yes.
So what's that?
Yeah, Skill Builder.
Yes.
So Skill Builder is a free platform provided by AWS, designed by their SMEs of the certifications, which helps multiple clear certification to explore the path, to practice, to learn how AWS works. Builder, what I can say, the first level to train your mind on AWS services. The second level should be to practice some of the professional courses on Udemy.
Okay. Can we do hands-on labs also there in this?
From Skill Builder, able to.
Okay. And what were some of the do's and don'ts you would share from your experiences?
Let me focus on the notes first. Once you are giving certification, try to take a sleep before that, because you should feel sleepy because the question there are too lengthy. Your mind at a point will be frustrated and you won't like in a mood to like swap up to the next question. Make your mind feel, eat something good before certification, because these require full of the attention and your mind should be 100% active. Coming to do's, what I would say is practice multiple questions, make short notes, short keywords. Before one day, I just only revise what I have written in my notes, so that I am not in pressure. I just enjoy. So just go in a chill mode. Make sure you have a proper sleep, proper diet. Then you will be easily able to clear that. Because focusing on seven question for a period of 3 years is quite, what I can say, hectic. We all are humans only.
Now, what would be your advice? We have professionals that are already embedded into AI, because now AI is there in almost all the projects. So we
Correct.
have people like Karthik or Ashwin who are already building, innovating with AI, who also has a lot of business requirement on AI. So for them, should they do these certifications, and what would be your advice about doing the certifications at that stage?
My advice would be certification will be a cherry on top. I am impressed by Ashwin's use case, like the way he is using AI technologies for building its own business. Like, thank you, Ashwin, for sharing that idea. Certification will give you, like, you will have a knowledge of each and every service which revolves in AWS. So that once you are thinking of anything, you know what service can be used. Coming to time management, at least in weekend of like 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, we can take at least 2 or 3 hours to prepare to go through the documentation, blue papers. So that will be enough to clear that.
What are your suggestions about once you do the certifications? What are the next steps we should do? It's a journey. It's not the destination certification. If you can give some advice, like how you are keeping yourself on so many things which you have already learned.
Once the certification is being cleared, don't be in a dilemma like now I'm done. Every 3 years they will expire, and every 3 years new technology will be. So stay updated. Read some system design articles, or try to, like, if you are using Netflix, also try to study how Netflix architect. At least just read it, see how Netflix is architect, like scaling its architecture, where they're storing the data, how are they querying the data and everything. That you will be updated with what is going into the industry.
Also see one comment, Keshav Mishra, he is saying this is very helpful session. So thanks. Now I'll open up for the audience. Do you want to share anything else?
Yes, sir. I want to share something.
Okay, Ashwin, go ahead.
So I work in a company. So the what product I build gives $12 billion revenue to the company. What I am seeing in my company is how you do things is already taken care by AI because we are using those tools which is taking care of how you do things. The world is moving towards what you want to build.
Okay.
The biggest challenge for our generation is we have already learned the things, our previous experience, and now the way we have to do things is completely different. So for us, going into change is difficult. For you, who is just coming out of college, it is easy for him because that's the first thing he's doing. But we have got the baggage of the experience and suddenly we feel that the magic mind which we had, someone is taking away. What do I do now? So I feel I am in that situation. I'm seeing it unfold in my eyes. That's why I'm trying to do something out of ordinary, not being how person, seeing what we should do and let how take care of itself.
Sure.
Spec-driven development is taking a big wave, and then there's something called as spot development happening. That will trickle down soon. So be prepared for it. It's better that we prepare ourselves for what is coming.
Yeah, you said spec driven development. Yeah, that I
Correct. It's
understand.
SDD.
Correct.
The whole spec means that what you want to do. It does not talk about how you want to do. It
Yes.
says what you want to do, you pass it to that AI tool and it will generate the code, but you have to focus on what you want to do.
Yes.
That is where I am seeing things move. Because 6 months projects, we are doing it in 2 to 3 weeks. And that's crazy.
Great. Understand.
I want to share one simple insight. This is the real insight, okay?
Yes.
One of my senior director, we gave that it will take 1.5 sprint to get that done.
Okay.
He did 40 minutes on HDD. He got results within 2 hours. And he
Okay.
showed, hey, you don't need to spend 1.5 sprint. There's the code, use it.
Okay.
This is the scale teams are moving.
Okay. So then it's like multiple weeks of effort getting
Months of efforts are happening in days.
Okay, in hours or days. Correct?
So that's why how is taken care of. We
Yes.
talked about system design, right?
Yes.
So all this, not to disrespect anyone, because we have been trained this way. This is what the world was.
Yeah.
The world has changed. But if you write a perfect SSD or near about SD, right? The tool
Yes.
will do it for you.
Good insight. Earlier, we were giving primary focus to the technical skills. Now, what is important is technical skills are definitely important, but in addition to that, communication skills. How do you articulate the problem? How do you define the problem and provide it as an input to AI is also important. And then doing it in a systematic manner so that it can be turned into productive quality code base. Correct?
Let me put it that way, right?
Yes.
Previously, your technical skill was your leverage.
Oh.
No more a leverage. You need that, but that is not a leverage.
So yeah, this is some interesting point. But I do believe right now the industry is a stage of dilemma. And once things get stabilized, now people have just started using AI. It's like since less than 2 years, we are in the AI world. Now the AI code is yet to hit the production or get that churn of real use cases, high scale use cases. So then we will see what actually matters, how important are different skills. So I still believe that yes, system design skills, the fundamental skills are still important, because rather than just asking AI to code, we should also ask AI to explain and help us learn these things. So that way you build systems, and while building that you keep learning, so that you can maintain and optimize and also validate the output of AI. Correct? So any other questions? Anything else? Anyone
So
wants?
I have one question on the infrastructure side, right? Amazon, Google, or any other infrastructure, right? They are
Yes.
costly actually. When I was trying to generate something on them, right? So the GPUs are very costly. Do you know of other systems where we can do it at a cut through, or if I have to run 24/7, right? Small CPUs rather than the VPS, what hosting it is for? So do you know some kind of infrastructure companies which are doing that at a relatively less cost? Because not every organization is an enterprise who will go to Amazon for doing it.
So a lot of companies nowadays, there are startups as well. So you have the cloud providers like Google Cloud, Azure,
Too
AWS.
costly, Tarun.
Yes,
Because
yes,
the models, when you want to run it on GPUs, right?
yeah,
It is costing you a bomb. I don't have $1 million to train my model.
correct,
To be
correct.
very fair. So I am looking at something as a run pod which gives me very quick access. But the problem is data persistence and other things. Those are other challenges, right?
Yeah, I can share you a LinkedIn profile. That person can help you on this point. Yeah, startup what I know is reducing the cost every time. So that can be helpful once you explain the use case, because industry as of now prevails 99% is on Amazon only. Amazon, Azure, and GCP. Oracle and Alibaba Cloud, cloud are there, but I'm not sure how the GPU and workload are being managed, because I haven't tried that heavy workload.
There are some startups also I know who are providing GPU as service. Have you tried that? I also heard some companies, they are having their AI infrastructure and they are providing it over the cloud at cheaper rates than Amazon. But how much cheaper, we don't know right now yet. I haven't tried it out myself. But yeah, you can check out. There's a new area which is GPU as a service. And also, if this is for edge computing, a lot of companies in India, they are also providing GPUs for educational training purpose and productive uses, an edge computing model. So any questions for people who are already in the meeting or someone who is seeing it as a live stream? Please feel free to share your queries. So if no further queries, we can close this session. So thanks, Ankit. So this was a great, insightful session.
Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Great.
Thank you, Tarun, for hosting this.
I'll share the recording link to everyone, and then we can take the communication further from there. Now you can collaborate, people who are looking to do practical implementations or people who are looking to learn or collaborate or get certification. Now we can kind of collaborate between different skills, people with different industries and different focus. That would be great. So then have a nice Sunday ahead. See you in upcoming sessions. Thanks for joining. So yeah, we see a lot of likes, a lot of claps for a
Thank you all.
great
Thank
job.
you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank
Tarun.
you. Bye bye.